Good afternoon, viewers. Today our topic is transport across the cells. Transport across the cells. So in this lesson for today, again, as I always say, if you like the video, please like, subscribe and share to your friends, family, relatives and everyone whom you may see that this video it may have effect upon that person. So today it is transport across the cells. And transport across the cells meaning there is something which is crossing inside the cells or outside the cells for something to take place, that is across the cells. For example, transport across Zambia meaning there is need of transport which when one want to go out of Zambia or when one want to come in Zambia, that person needs to use. So that is the same with transport across the cells. So this is an important topic which you must know and you must have in your mind each and every day, not only for school but also for the sake of your life. So here we are going to look at transport across the cells. So remember that anything which enters the cell, whether it be an animal cell or it be a plant cell, there is something which happens. So now, for substances to enter the cell or to go out of the cell, these substances must undertake the three things which we are going to look at today. So these three things which are needed for substances to enter the cell or to go out of the cells are three things which most of you know and which you always say in your mouth. So the first one, it is diffusion. Diffusion. The second one, it is osmosis. The third one, it is active transport. So these three things are important for substance to enter the cell or to come out of the cells unless these three things are there. So diffusion, if for example, not diffusion but we'll look at that later. For nutrients to enter the cells, unless one of these, they enter through the cell through these three things. For water, for nutrients, for other things to enter the cell or to come out of the cells, for waste product to enter the cells or come out of the cell, unless there is these three things. So viewers, please, if you like the video, subscribe and share to other people. So the first one, we are going to look at diffusion. Diffusion. Diffusion is the first one we are going to look at. So what is diffusion? So diffusion, it is the movement of particles from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. As you can see, I've just illustrated in the diagram. So whereby particles are moving from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration, that is diffusion. So every particle, it will move from the region of higher concentration to the region of lower concentration. So meaning if it is in a cell, for example, this is an animal cell. for animal, for whereby if where things are concentrated, they will move from this region where they are concentrated to the region where what they are not concentrated, meaning to a lower region. And their diffusion will do what? Will take place. So let me give an example where we can find in our daily life diffusion taking place. An example. For example, if here someone is here and this person like to spray perfume. You know, here in this world we like so much that we may help ourselves with other things. So this is a perfume bottle or a container where perfume is stored. Then there, when someone places here, then here perfume or the particles for perfume spreads all over the room if that person is in a certain room. And when he pushes here this button, the particles will move out from this board for perfume, and this room, since here it's where he has spread this perfume, because here the particles are concentrated, they will start moving to other places where their particles and where the perfume particles are less concentrated. As a result, the particles will move from this high region of concentration to this lower region of concentration till they are equalized, or there is equilibrium of these particles. So the particles moves from this region to a lower region until this whole room is filled up with the perfume. That's why you find that maybe your sibling or anyone sprays the perfume. You find that you are in the other room and she is in the other room. Then when she sprays there, the perfume or that scent spreads all over the house, and you say, this perfume is strong, that it has caught my nose. So that's how it is. The other thing, another example or illustration which I can give, here it is diffusion. Yeah. The other thing, example which I can give is that we have apart from this one, we can have maybe that a house, maybe someone is someone want to start up fire. Then that smoke, the person is just in a certain room, then that person starts up the fire maybe through a box or a paper. You find that the smoke will go all over where in the house. As the result, the particles, they have spreaded from from the region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So that is that is about diffusion, the definition. I just wanted to give an illustration. So now there are some things which we need to consider. There are factors which affect the rate of diffusion. So factors affecting the rate of diffusion. So now these factors, when I say factors, they can be either positive or negative. So some of the factors which affect the rate of diffusion are these, which are going to look about this time. Number one, we have temperature. Number two, let me just list all of them so that we may know, so that you may not waste time. Size of particles. Number three, we have concentration gradient. Concentration gradient, yeah, maybe, okay. Thickness of diffusion, thickness of diffusion surface. Okay, maybe these are enough. So temperature, we just know that temperature. So temperature, it is the increase in the kinetic energy of particles, causing them to diffuse at a faster rate. So that is about temperature. So here temperature, we find that it is the increase of what? Of kinetic energy to make the particle move at a faster rate. So now let me give an illustration. We have two pots. This is the first pot containing water. Okay, cool. Then we have the second pot, the same size, also containing water. Okay, now these two pots, both of them are at a cool temperature or low temperature, whereby the water is just at a cool state. Now we get one of these pots. When we get one, okay, we get one of these pots, same quantity of water or same amount of water. Now we put it on the brazier, we put it on the brazier or on firewood or on stove or anything that is producing heat. So here we find that on this one, because the temperature, it is not changing, it is constant, you find the diffusion rate. If you put just here a pot, probably tomorrow if you come, you will find that this water or the same water, it is in the same position where you left it yesterday. The water has not diffused or the water has not evaporated, but it is at the same line or amount in which we have to pour it in the pot. But on this one, because you have applied temperature, and temperature, we know that it is the coldness or the warmness of of a place or of a substance. So now on this one, you find that because you have applied temperature, there in this water, the water will start here below. It will start more like rounding up. As it is rounding up, because the temperature has started changing, the temperature has started increasing, then you find that kinetic energy will be produced. As kinetic energy is produced, the particles inside the water will start colliding. As they are starting colliding, you find that these particles, they will gain more kinetic energy. As a result, diffusion will take place. You will find that the water has started evaporating. So here we find that here the particles, they have started evaporating. And for them, because they have started evaporating, the amount of water in this pot, just this happens only due this happens for evaporation to be faster. It matters with how the temperature is. If here the temperature, the fire which we have applied on the pot, you find that if the fire or the heat has much temperature, you find that also the water will evaporate much because the diffusion rate is faster. But if the temperature applied here below through the fire, you find that the evaporation will not be at a faster rate. So that is with temperature. So there are many examples which I can give. If you need more information about temperature, please, you can comment there in the commenting section, then I'll respond to you as quick as possible. Number 2, we have the size of particles. So here, the size of particles, they matters a lot. Let me give an example. This is a particle and this is a particle. So these two particles, they matter because we have this one and it has a bigger size. This one, it has a smaller size. As a result, you find that this bigger one, when diffusion wants to take place, let me give an example. Maybe here we have, okay, let me erase this. Then I draw it in a proper way. So I'll draw like this. Here a bigger one, here a smaller one. Then here we have this is I can say maybe a membrane of anything whereby these particles need to pass to go this way. So here you will find that for this bigger particle, for it to diffuse, to pass in those small space there, it will not pass. The reason is simple, because this particle, it is larger in size. As a result, the diffusion rate here will be what? Will be low, because the particles are large or are bigger than the part where they need to pass. From there, we have this small particle. Because it is a small particle whereby it can pass along these two borders, as if I can say like that, you find that here the diffusion rate will be high. You find that here there are many particles the same as this one, and here we have the bigger one. You find that on this one the diffusion rate will be low, on this one the diffusion rate will be faster. So the larger the size, the larger the particles, the lower the diffusion. The smaller the particles, the higher the diffusion rate. So that is about the size of particles, how they affect the rate of diffusion. From there, we have concentration gradient. So on this one, on concentration gradient, this is where we find that we have the concentration of two different regions, whereby we have the other one where it is lower. Here I will give an example of what can I give, okay? Okay, so these are the particles. Okay, then we have smaller particles and these. Okay, so here on this one, on the concentration gradient, so on the concentration gradient, meaning we have two concentrated between two regions. The higher the concentration gradient, the faster the rate of diffusion. So meaning this one here we have, here pay attention that you may listen to what I'm trying to elaborate here. So on this one, because here these smaller particles here, here they are more concentrated than this side. You find that here these particles will move at a faster rate to this part where they are not what concentrated. As a result, they will come here. Even so, that is the first example. Then the second one, if here we also have these larger particles, if they are the only one which we have. Also, these they will move at a faster rate because here there are no particles, so they will move at a faster rate coming this side. As a result, because here the concentration was high, the concentration gradient was high, and here the concentration gradient was high, so they will move to this lower part where the concentration gradient was low, and this will move to this lower part where the concentration gradient was low. So that is about the concentration gradient. So here, where they are more concentrated, they will move to where they are lesser concentrated, and that will make the diffusion to take place at a faster rate. Now, for example, let me try to do this so that you may know what I'm trying to say. Here they are concentrated. Also here they are concentrated. So here you find that these particles, they try to move in this direction and that direction. But you find that for these particles to move from here to come here, because also here the same particles are concentrated, meaning diffusion here will be low because both sides there is higher concentration gradient. So that's where now here diffusion, it will be affected, it will be at a low pace or at a low rate. Hoping you have understood about concentration gradient. Okay, from there we go to the fourth one, thickness of diffusion rate. Thickness of diffusion rate. So the thicker the diffusion rate, the faster the rate of diffusion. The thicker the diffusion rate, the faster the rate of diffusion. Let me give an example of this. We have here a leaf. So this is a leaf. Okay, so on this one we'll find that because here this surface area, it is large, and here maybe it has a thicker line. So meaning because here this one it is bigger, thick, you find that the diffusion rate will be high. Meaning if particles want to move out of this, because this it has a large surface area, meaning the particles can come out from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, from there, from there, as many as they can, because the surface area is low compared to this one. If we have this one, here, because this one it is small in size and small in surface area, you find that only small particles will move out of this leaf. As a result, the diffusion rate will be low. So the thicker, the larger the surface area, the higher the diffusion rate. So learners, this is where we see that diffusion is very, very important. So those are the factors which affects the rate of diffusion. So there are many, but I just mentioned a little to bring you into focus to this wonderful and beautiful lesson, that you may know the importance of diffusion. Okay, so now for example, let me try to the importances of diffusion. The importance of diffusion. Importance of diffusion. So what are the importance of diffusion? So number one, here let me try. Okay, the importance of diffusion. So you find that diffusion is important because oxygen moves out of the lungs and oxygen enters the lungs by the process of diffusion. So the entrance of what? Oxygen, and coming out of oxygen. Entrance of carbon dioxide and the coming out of carbon dioxide and other gases which are not used up in the body. So diffusion, for this oxygen, carbon dioxide to enter and to come out of the body, unless there is diffusion. So there in the lungs there are cells. So for this diffusion and for these substances which is oxygen and carbon dioxide, for them to enter into the cells there in the lungs, unless there is what? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. Unless there is diffusion, that's when they will enter and come out of the cells. From there we have, so like just an illustration of a diagram of the lungs. So here we have, hoping this is how they are. Okay, so here are the lungs, here are the lungs, and they have been branched here. Okay, then here we have those. Okay, even here they have been branched. Okay, then we have, okay, these are sacs. Okay, so now from there, then just the other illustration, if you get this one sac, it is like this. Okay, so now then here passes the line of a capillary. From there we have this where blood is concentrated here. So meaning this is just the view of that. Okay, where we have the red blood cells, white blood cells, okay, and other things. So here we find that there is entrance of O2 and the extents of 0, 2. So that's why we find. So for them to enter this cell and to come out, unless there is what? There is the process of diffusion. So those are the importances of what? Diffusion. So from there we have dissolved of food which goes into the what? The cells, into the cells, from the blood into the cells by what? Diffusion. So if here we have the cell, a plant, then here we have the concentrated region of higher concentration of nutrients, dissolved food, which when we eat, they're going to the stomach, digestion takes place there, they're going to the small intestines. As you know, the small intestines are divided into 3. We have the duodenum, jejunum, or the ileum, and the jejunum. So there assimilation takes place whereby the dissolved nutrients goes into the bloodstreams, and when from the bloodstream they enter the cells by what? Diffusion. So that is it on what? On diffusion, on the entrance of dissolved food nutrients. From there we have waste, metabolic wastes such as urea, which moves out of the cells into the blood by diffusion. So the same here, it is a cell. Then here inside the cell, because in the cell there are many activities which takes place here. So when urea comes out of the cell, it comes out by the process of what? Diffusion into what? Into the what? Into the blood. From the blood there, then it is excreted, and we know when we learn excretion, we know how urea is excreted. When one pees, we find that there in the urine, urea is there. Also when one sweats, urea is there, and salt substances and other things. So those metabolic waste products which are used up in the body, they come out by the process of what? Diffusion. From there, we know for a plant, here when we have a plant, then here these are branches and tree. Don't worry, I know you know how to draw. Yeah, so this is a plant. So here we find that even here is this young boy. Don't worry, this is what our teacher used to teach us. Yeah, when we were in preschool, how to draw. So here you find that this young boy, he wants what? Oxygen. And these plants, for photosynthesis to take place, unless there is carbon dioxide. So here you find that because of excretion in the lungs which will take place here, carbon dioxide moves out of the nose. Carbon dioxide, or maybe just in abbreviation, yeah, CO2 moves out and goes where? To the plant. Now for carbon dioxide to enter into the plant cells, it enters through the process of diffusion. And when oxygen, because at the end of photosynthesis, we find that when photosynthesis has taken place, we find that oxygen is generated and or is formed, and it is excreted out of the plant, and it goes back to the same boy, and the boy breathes in. Now for oxygen to come out, it comes out by the process of diffusion. Then the boy inhales the same oxygen, and it goes to be what? Healthy. So that is about diffusion in plants. So there are many things which takes place. Not only this, there are many things. This was just an illustration to give you just a brief explanation. Okay, if I can give another one, we also have water vapor. If water vapor want to come out of the plant, it leaves the leaves by the processes of diffusion, because they are in the leaf, we find there are those small openings where diffusion does what? Takes place. Remember, you cannot see this by your naked eyes unless you have a microscope or anything, because they are tiny. You cannot see them, and I cannot see them myself by naked eyes. So the water vapor comes out. You see, wake up early in the morning, you go by the bush or those grasses which you have behind your house, you find that early morning, you find that the plant's leaves, they are filled up with what? With water. They are on top of them because evaporation has taken place. Or during the day when there is much sunny, but I don't think you can see them unless in the morning. So you find that water will come out through the cells through what? Through diffusion. So viewers, this is where we end with the diffusion. So in our next episode, we are going to look at osmosis, and in the third, we are going to look at active transport. Please, if you like the video, please like it. From there, subscribe and share to your friends and other people. Enjoy as you are learning, because these are very important in our lives. So this is where we end with diffusion. Thank you so much.